Hey, Wilco here from TradeReact.com. Hope you had a great weekend. I surely had. And I'm gonna do a quick scan weekly. Highlights of this week: the EU banks in trouble, Japanese yen worries, and the oil run of last week. I'm gonna hold some webinars this week. If you wanna know when, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. Where do you find that? Here on my website, TradeReact.com, with the smart tips. Put in your email address and submit, or on the top orange bar to stay up to date when I keep my webinars, post new articles, etc. Great opportunities. So that is that. Now let's look at the charts. Let me go through the weekly, monthly, daily. If I see some interesting in this quick scan. For details, as I said, you really need to join my webinars, read my articles, or ask questions. So this Aussie cat made a nice run. It's in ranging action here. Ended quite bullish, but near the highs here. We need some confirmation here that it stays high or breaks out, else it's really extending here. So that's an overview. Also, we're starting the new month of August, so that's gonna be interesting. Aussie yen moving into the lows here from 2011 and 12. Normally do is draw on some lines, as I show here. I enabled my lines again so you can see what's going on. Here the Aussie cat again, near some resistance, probably sell off. We'll see, the market is just opening. This is the monthly charts. Aussie yen, as I said, near the lows. Aussie kiwi broke some trend line here, but no clear direction on the monthly. Weekly gives a bit better insight. With a break and a retest, perhaps if we stay below this trend line, we see a dip of the lows again. Else, if it breaks above, we're kind of in ranging action. So nothing too fancy at the Aussie kiwi. Aussie US dollar. In some recent highs here, bouncing from lower areas, but near some resistance, upcoming around 0.77 level. So we'll see how that works out. Monthly ended really high here. Cat yen going down, finding some lines of support, ended a bit indecision but below the previous area, broke below the blue line, some resistance. Is a more volatile pair but seems to be continuing its down move. On the weekly it looks like this, retesting the orange line continuing down. Now first line is here, 77, that it needs to break for further downside into the 73 level. Euro Aussie, near some lows here, monthly looking good in this wedge kind of falling pattern, broke above, is ranging in the lines on some support here above previous action, price action. Perhaps a good buy. I even drawn an arrow there, but I will remove it. So that's the Euro Aussie. Euro Swiss, not trading at the moment, looking bearish still. Euro CAD, bit of in the middle of this newly created channel. It only had 1, 2, 3 touches above and 2 at the bottom. It's a very wide monthly channel, but as of these big wicks, I think it's kind of useful in combination with those horizontal lines on the higher time frames. On the weekly we see some breakout here of this wedge, so we might see some more upside on EuroCAD. First level I've really got interested here is the 150, so it's a lot of room. Probably need to look at lower time frames to time your entries. This is an overview, remember that. Euro Pound, breaking out of some wedge. Next level 08750. Big ranging, making lower highs, but now breaking this wedge might mean some upside for the Euro Pound. Here on the lower time frames daily, you see this small flag, bull flag broken. We'll have to see what that means if it goes higher. I'm cycling through real fast, want to keep this on below the 15 minutes so you have a grand idea of what's happening, and I hope you join me and ask more questions so I can be of help. Would be awesome. Euro Kiwi dipping lower, bit of ugly prices here. We might see some support here from the 150, 151. It's in the middle now, not a great area to trade off. On the daily, it's perhaps moving down into a double bottom here, nearing the nearest price action. Euro Yen. In this lower low pattern, dropped off really hard. There is some yen news, of course, as you can read in the articles. Some new level here, around the 105. Still in this pattern, bit of indecision here, so also need to zoom in. But price generally is moving lower here. We'll see how that holds this week. Euro US dollar, ranging. After this bullish move, we got back into the 50%, closing above here. Had indecision, but a bit bullish last candle. Still ranging. So we really need to go into the daily and for our time zones to check out this pattern. Looking right where it's now, if it continues into the 114 again, or if it finds some consolidation, we'll have to see. We need more clarity on the lower time frames. Pound pairs. Pound Aussie, moving lower, next level 166. Monthly ended bearish, so really don't see any upside yet, only this wick here, so we can look for a break of that. Put it there, but the more important level is lower. So we'll have to see on the pound as Aussie how that goes. Pound Canadian broke this line 175. That's capping the upside. For now it's hovering a bit below this line, so we might see another continued drop into the next level, 163. Zoom in for the details on this trade as we get the opening of the week. Pound Swissy, got some levels in here, not great of the big wicks here. Moving down near support 125, we'll see if that holds. And we base our price action trades upon that. Pound Yen, also around support level of 135, 153. And yes, moving around that area, need to zoom in lower time frames to see how those support lines hold, 130, 135. Pound Kiwi, near support 177. Bounce from there, so might see some more upside from there, but keep in mind it might double bottom. So really need to check the lower time frames. Pound US dollar, making ultimate lows here. We'll see how it holds. The 130 level is important. Where is it? Around here. So that's what you can look at for the pound US dollar. That's the line in the sand for now. You see it's hovering around that area. So that's what I'm looking at. Kiwi Cat, quattro topping here. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, looking bullish. So we might see another push higher before we see that blue line come in play again. That's what my focus is on. Will we get a breakout here on lower time frames? Then we get a retest of 0.95. Here 0.95-ish against the 4 tops. We'll see how that holds. Further on, Kiwi Yen. Not so clear price action, bit ugly. The big wicks, harder to trade, very volatile. We're near some support around the 73 area, 74-ish, 73.50. So let's see if we get a bounce from there. Price is capped a bit around 76 here, or what is it, 67. So I will look at that. You can pause the video if things go too quick, or just come to my webinars, subscribe to my newsletter at tradereact.com for more insights, and I hope it's helpful. Else you can ask me questions, of course, and I do my best to be helpful. Here, Kiwi dollar, US dollar, running into some resistance, 0.73. Perhaps resistance, we'll have to see. It topped already on the weekly here, so coming back in, perhaps some resistance, move down again. Can draw some fips for some help. That's what I'm looking at. Bit ranging above this fib area, this 50 fib, and the highs. We'll see how that develops further on. Closed bullish, so have to see. Dollar CAD. Quick update, flagging here. Might see continuation down if it stays in this wedge. If not, we're testing the highs again. 136 and even higher. Look at the weekly, daily, 4 hour to see what happens. It broke out here daily, come back in, so we'll have to see if it makes a higher low here and continues upwards. Take a look at that price, hope it helps. Dollar yen, nearing support here, dropped off real hard, coming in around the 101. See if that holds or breaks. That's the area for the dollar yen. Weekly, bounced hard from it, came back down, now it's again near that low. So look at that area. Dollar Mexican, some exotics in the mix, I always like it. Trending up real strong. Closed in a bit of indecision previously, came back up, so we really need to see the lower time frames work out on this. Is this a double top around the 19 level, 1950? Will it retest the 1950 or not? Look at the lower time frame for some detailed price action going forward on dollar Mexican peso. Dollar ZAR. Breaking below the blue lines here of support and resistance, but coming into some monthly support here around the level where it is at. Do we get a bounce here or is it a break? And next touch isn't very much further off. 1350 and 13 are the new levels in play if this level gives away. Overall we're bullish, so keep that in mind if we're trading lower. Oil, we dropped off really hard this last month, made some good profits there. Now nearing the lows, drawn in multiple lines here of recent price actions. Curious if we can find a bit of a bounce here around the 40 level. Is what I'm looking at. It stalled a bit around the 41-ish last week. So if we get a bounce here, it might be good to look for new shorts higher. So I will monitor this US oil, crude oil intraday, and what this bounce will mean, will be meaningful or not, we'll have to see also on the news. Silver. See, the video is running 17 minutes already. Maybe I'll cut it short, the quick update as it's called, but giving you a full highlight this time. Let me know if you want it shorter, if you want a video per pair, if you just want less, just tell me. Silver running higher. Extended levels show 24 as possible targets. It is really bullish. Came a bit into a range here on the weekly and daily. So have to see how that holds. Break the highs of the 20-50 or not. That's what I'm looking at. Showing real bullish signs. Silver. Gold. Also bullish, but kept with some trend line activity here around the 1380-ish. So have to see how that price develops near this trend line. Will it hold as resistance or will we break out? S&P 500 cleared some highs here, showing really bullish statements. Will the story continue? Most likely so, but we can get a retest, a short retest here of the 2140 level. We'll have to look at that on some intraday price action, see how it develops. Breaking out, good clear levels here, work with that. The DAX, as a last thing on my list, showed some real bullish candle here, closing in above that support line. As you can see here, trend line broken. Will it hold price above this area, the 10,100, the 102? As you can see here, price develop. We got some triple highs previously that we can watch for, and then possible move higher If not, look how it develops intraday. Alright, that was my run up. Was it quick enough? We're in 20 minutes. Hope it was useful. Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter, tradereact.com, right here in the box Smart Tips or on top, the orange bar. Put in your email address and subscribe, and I will update you on my free webinars, other useful content and articles. Thank you so much. Have a great trading week. Trade smart. Look at my social on Facebook. And I hope to catch you all later. Connect with me personal New Energy if you would like. Thanks friends. See you all later. Have a great week and I talk to you soon. Wilco, tradereact.com.